I said, how did my life turn into a Plies song? He said, I'm just vibing at the Ritz-Carlton. Hey friends, so welcome to today's vlog. It is a wedding countdown, friends. It is another Wedding Chronicles video, but today is pretty special because this is going to be all about my wedding ready routine, my skincare, my diet, exercise, all the things for me to just glow. Girl, I am trying to be a glowed down melanated goddess as I walk down the aisle. If Bae is not like crumpled over bawling as a result of my beauty radiating throughout the institution, I've done something wrong. And speaking of glow, it does not matter how much nipping and tucking and how my face is beat down to the gods, baby, how my waist is snatched. If I don't feel my best on the inside, it does not matter what the outside looks like. And that's why today's video is in partnership with my friends over at Midi Health. Let's put on a little bit of makeup while we talk about Midi, because I first heard about them through my podcast, Justice. And we had a doctor on who specializes in menopause. And she was talking about how little our everyday practitioners can know about what it means for women to be at a big age, to be in midlife, and to be peri and postmenopausal. Now, many of you may know that I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed in my late 30s, so I think I was 37 or something like that, 37, 38. And as a result of my cancer being estrogen driven, I had to go into medically induced menopause, and girl, it was a nightmare. I'm talking about hot flashes. Every time I would go into a flash, my anxiety would just ratchet up and get completely out of control. My heart would start beating fast. I didn't know what was happening to me. On top of the fact that I just absolutely could not sleep at night. I probably didn't sleep well for about 6 months straight. Now, thankfully, I was able to tweak my medications and get those symptoms under control. And as of last year, I am officially in breast cancer remission, thank God. But here's the thing. At 43 years old, what I knew as a result of my first experience with menopausal symptoms, that I was not going back, baby. I was not going back there. The vaginal dryness, the irritability, all of it was just completely out of control. And so I knew that I was going to have to find doctors who specialize in menopause and how to treat this phase of life. And again, based upon that early discussion on my podcast, what I realized is that everybody don't got it. Everyone does not have this knowledge. So this Midi partnership is clutch for me because they have the expertise. You can get answers, options, and a care plan that actually fits your situation and that can make a difference for you. They even help cancer survivors like me and at-risk women get support. I mean, when I was going through all of this, y'all, I was told absolutely no hormone replacement therapy. Now, the research is changing and Midi stays on top of that. And so they can advise you on what's best for you. They'll also partner with your current doctors and they'll refer you to in-person treatment if you need it. Now, it's not lost on me that too many Black women to name are not listened to by their doctors. And also there is just this implicit understanding that we're supposed to be okay with pain and discomfort as women. We don't have to live like that. Sister, let me hold your hand and remind you, we don't have to live like that. So join me and the other 200,000 women across this country who truly believe in Midi and the power of quality healthcare during this phase of life. All you gotta do is click the link in my description box or go to trymidi.com/Tashira, Tashira, to schedule a virtual visit today. I will drop my link once again in the description box so you can schedule your first visit. So many thanks to Midi for sponsoring a portion of today's video. And we are going first up, y'all, to get a little toxin, a little filler. Now, this was my personal choice. It is not something that I am pushing, obviously, on everybody. Your body, your choice. My body, my choice. But I want to just say, I'm going to foreshadow that I am obsessed with the results. And I think it's going to be helpful for folks to kind of demystify this entire process. So after we do that, we're going to talk a bit about what I eat in a day and my fitness routine. We're going to do a caviar tasting. We also have a luxury unboxing in this video, and we're going to wrap things up with laser hair removal. You were in for a treat. Go grab you a snack, grab you a beverage, get locked and loaded, and enjoy. All right, we are here with Michelle, and I would love for her to introduce herself to you all because she's going to give her bio better than I ever could and tell you all of the amazing things we're going to do today.
Hi, my name is Michelle Thurman. I am the aesthetic director here at Capital Aesthetic and Laser Center, and I am a board certified physician assistant doing all things aesthetics. So all things skin related. We do a little bit of laser, we do a little Botox, we do a little filler, we do facials, chemical peels, we do everything here. But aesthetics is just like my love, and I can't wait to see what we do either. Like let's consult, let's see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her skin is like the purest skin I've ever seen. So you know we are in good hands with Michelle.
Yes. Yeah. I will say, as we're doing like sort of this part, I would want you to get just a little something in the apple of the cheek. What I'm starting to see is just like a deficit right through here.
Okay.
And this is like, this is like a Malar fat pad that everybody has. We all have fat pads all over the face. But what I'm starting to see is a separation of this fat pad from this fat pad.
Okay.
So I just want to give you just a little something.
What we do here is go back.
Hey guys, it has been a few days. I am back because I wanted to give my skin a chance to settle and to heal after the Botox as well as the filler. Let's talk about it. So first, I should say tox, which is what Michelle calls it, because Botox is a brand name, I think. There are a myriad of different types of treatments that do the same thing. So she gave me a tox that was kind of very minimal. It wasn't super aggressive. And what she did was she had to do it in a few spots in my forehead and a few spots a little bit closer to the area that I wanted to treat, but not in that area specifically, which I thought was interesting because this is not the muscle. The muscle is through here, and when it contracts from me frowning, it causes the wrinkle. So Botox takes a few days, 3 to 5, I think, to fully settle in, but I'm already seeing a difference because when I like squint like this, you still see my skin wrinkle here, but it's definitely not as prominent as it was. Like, my skin used to completely fold in there. So I think over time it's only going to get better, and as that muscle is basically isolated because Botox freezes it, I won't have a deeper crease in my skin right here. But I don't plan on getting Botox anywhere else. This is just an area that, like I said, was starting to get pretty pronounced. And what I'm most excited about, though, is the filler, y'all. Does it smell? Where'd the smile line go? Now my face is still a little puffy, still a little bit swollen, but I am so pleased. I am so pleased. I have not worn makeup since, so I'm getting ready to put some makeup on now. We'll see how it settles throughout the day, but for the most part, I am just very excited now to work on my skin because it's going to be giving youth. Youthful glow is what I'm going for. So now that I have the smile lines and this crease, this wrinkle right here worked on, I want to get rid of these dark spots and just treat my skin well, with love, with care. I know someone's going to ask if it hurt. The answer is yes. Was it unbearable? Absolutely not. But what I will say is I am someone who has a pretty high threshold for pain. I had a myomectomy, hysterectomy, lumpectomy as a result of breast cancer, as well as breast reconstructive surgery. So I've been picked, poked, prodded, all of that. I have a few tattoos as well. So I'm not afraid of needles. And like I said, my threshold or my tolerance for pain, I think, is above what it would have been had I not gone through all of those different ailments and surgeries. So above average, I would say. But even with that said, I'm so happy she numbed me. And I was like, why is she putting this much numbing stuff on my face? And at one point, I felt like I was drooling because my face was numb. But I can't imagine having done that without it. Now, if you were not trying to treat the number of areas that I did, maybe you won't need as much and maybe you'll have 1-2 pricks and you'll be fine. But between the Botox and the filler, which she put here, and she put a little in my cheeks as well. Ooh, girl. I probably got poked 20 times. Yeah, probably about 20 times. If you were sensitive to needles, I'm sure Michelle can work with you and she can figure out what's best. Maybe you need to come back for a part 2 or a part 3, not get it all done in one day. Clearly, I lived through it. I survived. But as a result of just having that many pin pricks, my face is still throughout here a little sensitive, y'all. Still a little sensitive. So we're going to just give it time to heal. Be gentle with it. I see Michelle in 2 weeks just for a check-in, and we'll see how it is going. So I'm going to sit here, put on a very soft glam light beat, which I have been loving lately. And then I'll come back all done up and we'll check in about my health routine as far as my diet and my fitness journey as I prepare for the wedding. Quick shout out to the Evan Healy Tinted Oil Serum Foundation. I talked to you all about this in a previous vlog. I told you I had just gotten it from Mom's Organic Market, and yes, I am loving it. It literally is one of the best natural skincare products I've used in a long time. And I used to be really heavy on the natural skincare train. I got off of it, but this might get me back on it as far as skincare and makeup is concerned. So I will be right back. In December 2023, I was 180 pounds. And I was shook nasty. I was shook because my weight in my adult life, especially throughout my 30s, had kind of vacillated between 150, 155. And it had gotten much lower throughout my fibroid treatment because that was just a journey. They were out of control. And obviously during treatment as well. Go through my breakup, I'm not eating, I am as thin as a rail, and when I look back, I am actually unhealthily small, especially for my height. I am almost 6 feet tall. And so when I looked up one day and my clothes couldn't fit, I was like, what is going on? And that was the first time I really faced aging and being in that kind of menopausal era, in that phase of my life. I'd already gone through medical menopause, so I hadn't paid much attention to it. But the reality is around 40, that's the first time we start to see these like bio indicators of aging on the cellular level. And as many people say, it becomes harder to lose weight. Our metabolism slows, the belly fat starts to come, all the things that we know are symptomatic of this phase of life. So I was like, okay, something is going on here. And I thought it was my medication. I didn't know what it was. The reality is when I went to the doctor, and I had a great primary care physician at that time, she told me, she said, this is number 1, age, but number 2, you don't have the best habits. And I hadn't had a doctor actually sit me down and talk to me about eating ever. And that's problematic given that so much of our wellness obviously starts and ends oftentimes with food, especially as Black people. I can fit my clothes again, most of them, and I would still like to tone up quite a bit. But as I continue to focus on eating healthy, whole foods, I would say that the biggest thing that I've seen make a difference is a focus on a high protein, probably like a Mediterranean style diet. I haven't done keto or any of those other things. I don't believe in fad diets. I want to focus on healthy, whole foods. I want to focus on a clean diet with minimal processed foods, minimal sugar, minimal simple carbs, etc. I say minimal and not elimination because I want to enjoy life and I don't want to have disordered eating, which I think a lot of people can begin to do, especially when you are only focused on weight loss. I am a breast cancer survivor, baby. I didn't have to be here today. So spending a lot of time hating my body or mourning the size that I used to be in a society that is fat phobic, I know it's just the conditioning that is tricking my mind. And we have to do the work to get beyond that. And so again, my focus is on healthy eating. A few specifics. Number one, I do not skip breakfast. It's important for blood sugar regulation, but also if you start your day with something that is protein rich, you're going to feel fuller for longer and not make a decision that leads to unhealthy eating by 12 o'clock because you're starving, for example, and you just are like, drive through me, DoorDash me, anything that is nearby, give it to me because I'm starving. Eating breakfast helps to eliminate that urge. For me, it's usually non-fat or low-fat, 100% Greek yogurt. I like the Siggi's or any type of Icelandic yogurt because it's so high in protein. I eat that with some fresh fruit. I also add some nuts and some nut butter in it for healthy fats. So now I have my carbs from the fruit, I have my protein from the yogurt, and I have my fat from the nuts and the nut butter. I 100% limit my sugar. If I want something sweet, I'm going to go for the natural sugar. I don't keep like cookies or candy or any of that stuff in the house. I have a sweet tooth. My partner has a sweet tooth. It's just not safe for us. I don't remember the last time I had a candy bar, M&Ms, a Now and Later. I don't do any of that. I'm also very sensitive to like diabetes and things like that. So I'm not a mindless sugar eater. I'm mindful, so if I want dessert at a restaurant, for example, I'm mindful of making that choice, but having it in the house means I would just snack on it mindlessly. Speaking of refined sugars, I don't do sodas. I don't even really play around with like poppies because I know that it's going to increase like my urge for a soda, and I love a carbonated beverage, baby. So to replace a soda, what I've done is I drink Spindrift. I've become that girl. I know it's so basic. I just feel like I should be walking around with Lululemon leggings talking about how vaccines cause autism while I drink a $3 can of water. This is what my life has become. Okay, it's very maha. And but I just love it. That pineapple, girl, the mango blood orange, it's so good, and it's just 100% juice, a little splash of it with carbonated water. It is so good. I'm a Spindrift girly for sure. So I do some meal prepping. I cook 2 to 3 times a week, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I need to get better about that, both Bay and myself. We're very busy and we don't give ourselves enough time to prepare all of our meals for the week. And so I would say probably by Thursday, it's eating out, DoorDash, let's go out to a restaurant. And that's fine, but I would like to relegate that to a treat. For me, that feels like more of a special occasion or a date night thing. Then it should be our norm, just because whatever we eat at a restaurant, it's just going to be half as healthy as what we're going to cook at home. There's no way around it. So I told you what my breakfast is. For lunch, I usually will have kale. I love kale. I know some people do not like kale, but kale for me is one of my favorite vegetables, raw and cooked. And so the secret I've learned is to massage olive oil as well as lemon juice into it to kind of break it down a bit. And once you do that, it's gravy. You're not gonna be able to take it out of the package and throw some ranch salad dressing on it. You're gonna be like, like you gotta just really massage that thing, go to work on that thing. Trust me. It's the kind of leafy vegetable that keeps you fuller for longer, and it also lasts longer in the fridge. And so I make me a salad that I call a kitchen sink salad, where I put everything in it that I love. I put some nuts in it. I usually will put chickpeas in it for a plant protein, or I throw a piece of fish on top of it. I put some healthy carbs in there through an apple, because I like to have a sweet and salty flavor. I'll put smoked fish in there sometimes, because I am a big canned fish person. Smoked trout, me. I need a good smoked salmon. Okay, Trader Joe's has some great smoked trout. I put my whole family on it. It is so good. I love anything pickled because that helps with gut health. So I put some pickled cabbage in there. I put some actual pickles in there usually. I think I said I put nuts in there. And then I just use a very simple, minimally processed salad dressing. I could make my own, but I tend not to. And I put a little bit of goat cheese in it as well. Avocado, once again, for fat. And that is my lunch. Especially if I'm working from home. I'm not as good about taking my lunch to my office, but if I'm working in my house, 100% that's going to be my lunch every time. And then for dinner, it's usually fish and a vegetable like a sweet potato, and another vegetable like steamed broccoli or maybe some steamed kale. I do not miss a meal. I don't play that. I eat a smooth 6 times a day easily. I eat healthy snacks. I'm going to eat carrots with some hummus. I'm going to eat apples with some nut butter. Again, kind of combining those things helps with satiety, and also it just gets more food groups in to your diet. But I eat 2 snacks, 3 meals for sure, and I eat like clockwork. By 8:30, 9 o'clock, I've had breakfast. By around 10, I'm gonna have a little snack, maybe an apple or something. By noon, I'm sitting down, I'm eating my lunch. By maybe 3, I want another little snack, and before 6, I eat dinner. And my body just now has been trained, and that's what it looks forward to. And I do not deny myself. Some people would say you have to be in an extreme calorie deficit to lose weight. I mean, it's just simple science, it's the math. But that's also why losing weight slow and steady, if you're not on like a GLP-1, is probably the most healthy way to lose weight, because it signals a greater lifestyle change, and also you can eat. You're not out here starving yourself to death. I just have learned that I have got to keep a snack on me. A beef stick, a cheese stick, a peanut butter stuffed pretzel. I've got to keep a snack on me. And I keep my, again, water with me, and I keep a bar or a snack with me for an emergency every single time I leave this house. And I feel myself actually having a lot more energy. I feel myself thinking more clearly. I feel myself sleeping better. I don't know, I just feel like I am fueling my body. I am eating to live versus living to eat. And I've obviously been very, very focused on that as we wind down to the wedding. The next thing I will say is about my fitness. Now, I started this with all of these goals around how I was going to look around my wedding. I was going to do this and do that. Girl, please. I have successfully been focused on being healthy. And I have to pat myself on the back for that. Because that is what's most important. Because what I notice is I cannot have the goal of riding my Peloton 5 times a week, doing Pilates 3 times a week, eating healthy, 21 meals a week. Like, habits don't happen that way, and for me, I have to take things bite-sized and in chunks. And so riding my Peloton has been the most important thing for me as far as my fitness is concerned. I made that goal and I've stuck to it. I'm now on my 14th week straight of riding my Peloton every single week. Right now, I'm at about 3 times a week consistently. I would like to get that up to 5 rides a week. But for me at my age, I'm 43 years old, what I know is it's so important. This is true for us at all ages, but especially at this age when we begin to lose muscle mass. Simply doing a bunch of cardio, that ain't it. that ain't it. And as a matter of fact, if your goal is to lose weight, it especially isn't it, because you're going to have a hard time maintaining that. The second you don't work out, the second you go on vacation, you're going to gain the weight back because your body is not like a calorie burning machine. And that's where lifting weights and building muscle comes in. So now that my cardio habit is locked and loaded, I can transition more to lifting and also toning, because at one time I was heavy on the Pilates, and I definitely want to get back there. Most of my rides are about 30 to 45 minutes. I always ride with Tunde. I'm a Tunde stan, baby. Okay. And I have been using my Aura Ring over the past, I think, week now. I have had this almost a week to track my heart rate and my activity. If I'm not on the Peloton, I just move my body. If I am at my office or even at home, I get up, I walk. I really focus on getting those 10,000 steps in a day. And again, I'm feeling so much better. I noticed probably about 6 months ago, I went on a long walk and I was like, ooh, my legs hurt and I'm feeling tired. And I didn't feel this way last year. So again, just signs of aging and why it's so important to treat our bodies today well. Because how you treat your body today at a big age in midlife is how your body is going to perform if, God willing, we are able to reach our 80s, our 90s, etc. So you got to kind of pay those investments now in order to reap the gains and the benefits later on. And that is it for what I have been doing for my food and my fitness. Share some tips down below. What has helped you to maintain a healthy lifestyle? At this age, we are a community. We need to know, girl, what is it that y'all doing? And also, how are you maintaining focus? And also, what are your opinions on alcohol? There is so much kind of discourse around this and divided opinions. I would love to know. Y'all know I love a beverage, but I have severely limited how much alcohol I drink. Like a lot of people, I was that COVID girl with the bottle of wine. And what I know now is that wine is so high calorie, and so many sugary chasers are high calorie as well. These days, I am enjoying a beverage for the beverage, right? Like, I am investing in high quality spirits. My favorite right now is Gin Mar. It has rosemary, thyme. It's very herbaceous. It's a very herbaceous gin. And I'm mixing it with like a fever tree light tonic water. Or I'll make an extra dirty martini, and that will be that. I may here or there kind of splurge for the craft cocktail. We're gonna have some of those at our wedding, but for the most part, I'm like even drinking cleanly. And not drinking passively either. I'm not just having a glass of wine because it's 5 o'clock. But let me know. We'll love your advice. Let's talk about the OOTD, and then we're headed out of here. So I've shown this shirt on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok, but I don't think y'all ever saw it in a long form video. It is by Moschino, and it has on it, as you can see, these, is it silk screen pressed? I forget the word, but basically it has these fake suspenders on the front and on the back. I got it during the Moschino sale at the store in New York City at Hudson Yards. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces in my wardrobe right now. And one of the biggest trends for fall is going to be what's called modern academia dressing, or like smart dressing. And y'all know that has my name all over it. I don't even have to tell you, girl. I am also wearing my shoo tongue pleated skirt underneath, kind of give it a bit of a schoolgirl vibe. Shoes, I'm not sure yet. I would love if I had a pair of Jordans that were in this colorway, but it's probably going to be the soft loafers, just the YSL loafers, y'all, just to play around with more of that kind of smart tailored vibe. Loving my jewelry stack today. This is the Aura Ring chain by Sunset, Yerman, Sunset, tennis bracelet, Hermes, Cartier, Free Maiden on this hand. I already put on my fragrance, y'all, and I did Baccarat Rouge, MFK, And my nails, which my fiance has still not noticed, and that basically means she don't care if I live or die. Because how I slept with you last night, you noticed I got my nails done. I feel a way about that. Anyway, I am loving this yellow French manicure. And I got Gel X on my nails. I had her to cut them down, which works for me because my nail beds are very long, as you can see. I think I'm going to do the gold Elisa Johnson's. Ooh. This is cute. Oh, she's cute. Girl. She's cute. Okay, girl. Well, I mean, that was simple. Let's get up out of here. All right, I just realized that I didn't tell you all where we were going. Where are we going, babe? Payless. She said we're going to Payless. I wish Payless no longer exists. R.I.P. to a real one. Payless got you right. Many a Easter Sunday, many a usher board, many of church conferences, many a Women's Day. Payless was the real MVP. R.I.P. to Payless. We're going to Tyson's. I am looking for wedding shoes, y'all. It's kind of difficult because two of my looks are being made by designers. You all met both Charles and Burl, and both of those amazing people are making my looks, and so I know what they're working from, right, and what I'm getting custom made, but I also I haven't tried it on, and so it's hard for me to kind of determine accessories in the abstract, but we move. So we're gonna go on a hunt for shoes today. There is is there an Aquazura or Jimmy Choo? It's one of the two is now at Tyson's, right at the entrance upstairs by Chloe, by the new Chloe. And so I feel like I'm gonna have luck between there and probably Neiman. Saks don't really have nothing, and I just can't wear YSL shoes. They aren't gonna have anything that feels bridal anyway. So let's go on an adventure and see what we find. They wanted to go to Gucci, and I said we can't. She said, why? I said, because I custom managed her out one time. They probably got me banned. Made it to Tyson. Just did a quick swing through Neiman, Cricket. But we're gonna go to Chloe because my friend Jarrell is there now, as well as, what is it? They closed it, babe. The shoe store was right here. No, it was here. I've walked in there multiple times. Maybe they moved it. I feel like today is just not going to be a winner. This has been hard. We haven't seen a lot, but we're in Ferragamo now, and there are a couple. This I actually really like. I'm just wondering if it's too much shoe, a lot of shoe in the front, or if I should do a more barely there style, but I like it. She's very cutesy. She's very cutesy. The bow is kind of throwing me off, but I could be convinced once I try it on because I do like the straps. And then they said, well, wait a minute, because this is like a purple color, but her suit is burgundy, and the venue is gonna have a lot of jewel tones. So we're like, wait a minute, what if I do like a little pop? You know, people do blue shoes sometimes. What if this is my pop? They also have some amazing fall mules in here too. Let me show you. What? What? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's nasty. I feel like I need that. And then look at the, ooh, burgundy. Jesus.
Cheers.
All right, we're gonna go with these, y'all.
Yay! So honored that that's your wedding shoe.
Oh, thank you.
I do.
I definitely went for a very unexpected shoe at Ferragamo, but that also means I can wear it again. So let's see. I just need to get my hands on my looks so I can truly accessorize them the way that I need to. I'm grateful for Koi because Koi sent me 3 pieces, well, a pair of earrings and a cuff, but I can't show y'all yet, so you just gotta wait for that. Right now we are at the Ritz. The name of their restaurant is called Entice. They have jazz night tonight. We're gonna have a drink, eat something delicious, and yeah, just have a little bit of a date night. Hey friends, last night was a vibe. Clearly I have a little treat from Chloe, but before we get to the unboxing, let's catch up. So you saw us down at Tyson's, and at first, y'all, I was getting so discouraged because there just wasn't a lot there. The shoe department at Neiman was very disappointing. Saks never ever has anything, if you ask me. And there aren't a lot of other stores. I just think DC really misses out on like cutting edge, up to date designer fashion. If you are in this area, you already know there may be one small boutique here, one department store there. City Center obviously has some options, but I'm not going to Louis Vuitton for wedding shoes, right? Like you need something that is going to have a different type of curation by, like, for example, the Webster in Miami, or just a department store that has a fuller selection. Nevertheless, so we ended up stumbling in Ferragamo, and you could have knocked me over with a feather. I mean, I've been loving what Ferragamo is doing lately. There are quite a few pieces that I've been lusting after. Haven't pulled the trigger until yesterday, though. And when we walked in, I saw 2 pair of kind of more bridal style shoes, which I was looking for. Your golds, your ivories, things within that kind of color family. A strappy sandal, a barely there sandal. You all know what I'm talking about. It was actually Bae who was like, what about this? And she pulls out this purple shoe with a flower, and I was like, I'm not mad at it. It was in aubergine, I think is how you say it, something like that, like a deep eggplant essentially, and that's just about the color of her suit that she's getting custom made. So it worked out perfectly. They didn't have my size in store. They're going to ship it to me. I was able to try on a 40.5, but I needed a 41, and it's different. And I've always loved when people have these wedding shoes that are like a pop of color, and you won't be able to see them much. And I also might be able to wear them with another one of my looks throughout the night. So I'm keeping them as a solid first place for now, but also keeping my options open. I feel like doing what I do, I am typically so certain about everything that I put on my body, everything that I own. Like, I very rarely make a mistake about fashion, and I have to remind myself that when it comes down to choosing items for my wedding, because I've just been sitting up here, y'all, stressed, like, there's something about this being a once in a lifetime opportunity that makes me feel like the stakes are so high. And so if you all have any advice for that and like how to calm your nerves and just know that things are going to be the way that they should, I would really, really appreciate it. Let me know. Anywho, after we were shopping, girl, they was so hungry. And we were gonna hop over to this Thai restaurant out in Falls Church. And she was like, girl, I ain't gonna make it. I need to eat something now. And so we decided, based upon the sales associate's recommendation at Ferragamo, to go to the Ritz-Carlton. Let me just say that I worked at Tyson's Galleria at Saint Laurent for 2 years and never, not one time, walked into that restaurant. Not to the bar, not to nothing. And so it was really shocking when we got there that I was like, oh, why did I never think to come here? I mean, the prices were pretty standard for like DC, you know, nice restaurant prices. It wasn't absolutely egregious. The drinks were good and the food was delicious. I had lamb chops with a side of like sauteed greens. We split a delicious salad that had strawberries and honey goat cheese on it, honey truffle goat cheese on it. And the drinks were pretty solid. And while I was there, y'all saw me down at Chloe. And I was just sitting there because I didn't want to make any like rush decisions. So I'm just sitting there. And I was like, should I get that bag? And she was like, of course, get your bag. Because I have been lusting after Chloe pieces probably since April or so. I've been like, okay, I see what y'all are doing over there and I'm loving it right now. So by the time I made up my mind, they were literally closing. And so I texted the sales associate who had texted me while I was in the store so we could have each other's information. And I said, hey, are y'all still open? And she said, no, we're closed, but do you need something? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get the bag. So sweet. She sent me a payment link. I paid for it as Bae was paying the bill. And before we knew it, she was walking into the Ritz with the bag. So I was like, excellent customer service. Thank you very much. So here we go. I haven't even looked at this yet, y'all. This box is beautiful. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm going to turn you upside down for an unboxing. Called the Chloe Half Moon bag. And what I love about it is that, first of all of these little charms. Okay. I know we've been going back and forth about a back charm over here. But when they come on the chain, I mean, can we be mad at it? Can we be mad at it? As well as the Chloe detail here as well. Let me get the focus, y'all. Oh, it's so good. I am so happy. And each chain is a little different. This one has a horse on it, a banana, a pineapple, a pearl, and then the Chloe. And they also have a new Chloe belt that, girl, has my name on it, but we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. Now, before I do a try on for y'all, let me just show you what sold me on the bag. It was this. And going out in the evening, it's simple, girl. You can't be bothered. Turns into a little fortune cookie. And the color is so good for me. I don't have a handbag this color whatsoever. But also, obviously, we are preparing for fall. And this is a very delicious neutral, this khaki green. It is a super smooth, feels like lambskin leather. And it has the Chloe here. What I think is so good about it is, I don't know the history of Chloe in like the banana theme, but I see it in a lot of pieces. My swimsuit that I got from them for my birthday has a banana on it. There's a banana charm here. They have a pair of banana earrings that I love. And so for this bag to also be shaped like a banana, I don't know, it's just kind of quirky and cool in the best way. Let me show you where the strap hits on me. And I am almost 6 feet tall, y'all, so it comes long enough on me, right probably a little above my waist, but not so high that it's uncomfortable. And it helps that it has this kind of crescent moon banana shape. I even feel like it could be worn like this, right? So it's almost kind of like a really cool fanny pack vibe. It's thin, but it's also long, and so it's gonna fit everything I need, I'm sure. And the inside is suede. Why don't people do suede more on the inside of bags? I mean, this is a luxury handbag. Of course this needs to be leather. This strap can come completely off. And you can obviously attach a guitar strap, a leather strap. You could wear it as a clutch if you wanted to. So it's definitely going on my honeymoon because I feel like it's a bag that I can do everything with. And here is likely the authenticity card and some care instructions as well. So I'll make sure I save this. I always save these types of things, your boxes if you have space as well, because I don't display my boxes anymore. I just don't have room. But if I ever wanted to sell something, these small things actually help your bag to, I don't want to say retain the value because Chloe is not a brand that will do that, but it helps you get more for the bag. It increases the resale value. So I grabbed those two things yesterday, and as I mentioned, I was paying for my bag and they brought my bag as Bae was paying for the bill. So we were about to head out. By then it was probably about 9:30. I mean, we had been out for some time. We left here, I think, between 4 and 5. And I look up and my friend Jeannie is walking through the door. And I was like, Jeannie? So girl, we sat down with her and her husband and laughed and talked, and they gave us so much great wedding advice, and we talked about politics and just living the dream, everything, y'all. And so probably like 1:30 in the morning, we were down at the Ritz-Carlton until 1:30 a.m. We got home at 2 a.m. from the Ritz. I said, how did my life turn into a Plies song? He said, I'm just vibing at the Ritz-Carlton. Pull up at the Ritz-Carlton. I don't know. I go where the vibes are. I go where the vibes are. Don't hold me. Wherever the vibe is, I'm there. If I'm there, a vibe is there. So that's how last night went. We kind of slept in this morning. They had some stuff to do. I've been editing. Now we're going to go spend some time together, do a long walk. I'm going to leave you guys here. But tomorrow we're going to go and get laser hair removal. I will fill you all in on what my experience has been with that and what I am looking forward to in the future, the maintenance, all those things. I will see y'all tomorrow. Hey guys, today is Monday and I just came back from my laser hair removal appointment. It's a very odd thing to show people. Smooth as a baby's bottom. I'm gonna fill you in on what this process has been like for me. This has been a vlog full of pain. Whoever said beauty is pain, they didn't lie. Between wearing a corset, a girdle, aka shapewear, them slim and tummy laxative tees that the Instagram girlies be peddling. Give you full out diarrhea. On top of this whole laser hair, tox, Japanese foot binding. Bitch has been struggling for centuries out here. This is, girl, braids, eviscerating your edges, but we move. And what I wanted to actually come in here now and share with y'all is our caviar for the wedding. And so we are working with an amazing woman-owned business called the Caviar Dreams. I met one of the founders. Her name is Kendra at a champagne brunch. I think I told you about this brunch a few times here. And Kendra mentioned that the way she got started with the company and her inspiration was that she was sitting at home one night. She really wanted some caviar, and she went to Google and looked up Black-owned caviar brands, and she couldn't find any. And that was the impetus behind her brand. It was only my second time trying caviar at the champagne brunch. It was absolutely amazing. She's a wealth of knowledge, she and her co-founder. And I reached out to them and said, hey, would you wanna like share with my guests so they can have that same experience? And she said yes, and I am so incredibly grateful. So they sent first a huge caviar sampler, and then we narrowed down to the 3 that we love the most. Let's do a caviar tasting together. We are going to do it with potato chips, creme fraiche. I think it's called creme fraiche. Yeah, creme fraiche. And I'll talk you through the flavor profiles. So I just went and grabbed a few things, including champagne, because I mean, clearly we have to have that for a caviar tasting. But I received my caviar sampler in the mail from Caviar Dreams. They do ship all over the country. And it comes in an airtight package like this, as well as 2 or 3 ice packets were also included as well. And so it ships. Obviously, it's going to be perishable, so you have to make sure you're home to receive it. But everything was still ice cold when I opened it. So the 3 that we love the most are the Kaluga Hybrid, Classic Osetra, and the Royal Siberian. And who knew I was gonna turn into a caviar bae? Because I truly can taste the difference between all 3 of these, and I'll share with you what each flavor profile is like. We are going to make us a little nosh with some chips. We just got some kettle chips. These are the 40% less fat, nothing added, original sea salt from Cape Cod. Obviously, you gotta have your cream to put on top. I just think there's something about that that neutralizes the saltiness of the caviar. I got this mother of pearl spoon from Miss Debbie. This was a gift. She was the first person that I ever tried caviar with, and so she's been like an adopted grandma to me. And so she made sure I went home with everything I needed to have caviar tastings at home. And Caviar Dreams sent this, because you need this key to open the caviar. Boo. Not the most elegant way, but better than I would have did. So that's how you open it, friends. Okay, let's hop to it. Do not judge me, because I really can't tell you if I'm doing this right, or if there is a right or a wrong way to do it, okay? I'm from Polk County, Florida. You see what I'm saying? So I am going to share with you my impressions and how I make this little home caviar tasting pop. Gonna get us a little chip, okay? Put us a little bit of cream on it, a little dollop, okay? A little dollop. Put a little bit, put a little bit more, put a little bit more, okay? And let's start with the classic Osetra. Classic Osetra. I don't usually do a whole bunch of caviar. Number one, you don't need a lot, but also I don't want anything to be overpowered. You know, I want the whole flavor to just It's definitely very mild. So if you're someone who has never had caviar before, this one, the Classic Etc., is going to be a good place to start. And so we chose this for our guests who may not like it or may think they don't like it because of what they've heard. I think when you go this route, then it feels safe. The salt with the cream is so good. Let me do a bump so I can actually like tell y'all the difference. So this one is the Kaluga. Not super salty, kind of a mild profile. And the Classic Etc. The flavor is more complex and it's a little bit more fish forward. So I take that back. The Kaluga Hybrid, I think, is a good introductory one. The Royal Siberian, this one is the darkest one. And don't quite remember, but since I'm doing bumps, let's do a bump of this one as well. Salty. If you like things that are salty or briny, that's definitely the flavor of this one. But interestingly, I'm not getting as much of like the fishy flavor on the Royal Siberian. We are novices, and so trust that if you were new to wanting to try caviar, or you want it to be just like a nice accompaniment with some bubbles, cava, prosecco, champagne, etc., I think these three are great entry points. The mood I'm in tonight is giving Royal Siberian. Babe, you want to try some? Okay. I just did a whole taste for them. Yeah? You think we made a good choice? Okay. And then, so now she's going to tell us which one is her favorite. If I had to put them in order.
Don't say it yet.
Oh, okay. She said wait. So she's going to tell us, and then I'll tell you guys. Okay, next this is the Kaluga. Okay, last is the Classic Etc. You're welcome.
Shit.
So we agreed that we have, well, almost the same 1 and 2. She's tied. Her number 1 is the Royal Siberian tied with the Kaluga Hybrid. My number 1 is definitely the Royal Siberian. And we both agree that the Classic Etc. is our number 3. But obviously not number 3 in the huge diverse world of caviar. There are a lot of different types, but of our favorite 3, that is the way we would order it. And so tonight we are going to sit here, enjoy a couple more little bites of caviar or caviar chips, some more prosecco, and then we're going to eat dinner. This was our kind of appetizer, and I will see you all tomorrow so we can talk about this here laser hair removal.
issue with this pretty central finding of the Obama intelligence conclusion that Putin wants Trump to win. Correct. But it's really important to know.
Hey y'all, welcome to another day. It's pretty dreary. So apologies if it's a little dark. I'll try to lighten up this part of the vlog and post, but I want to come in and share with you all, as I promised, all about laser hair removal. But before we get there, I woke up and felt even more impressed with my Botox treatment, or my Tox treatment, as well as my filler. So here's a few days later update. When I do this, do you see that wrinkle in the middle is now completely relaxed? See that? And I'm wearing makeup, the Evan Healy, and I'm loving the way there's no creasing here among my smile lines. So, big success, even about 5 days, 5-6 days out. Lip is by the Lip Bar. It is the Boss Lady. So obsessed with like nice purpley blue-ish nudes, and how that doesn't compete with my skin tone, and I don't feel like I have to wear a liner with it as well. Before we get started, let me just throw on a little bit of a fragrance. I'm going to do Tom Ford Soleil Blanc today. And I feel like this is a lighter fragrance for me, and so I do kind of go above and beyond with it in a way that I don't with some of my other ones. I put you down a little bit just so you can see my oversized cotton poplin shirt. This is by Quince. I'm wearing a size extra large. I will link it down below, as well as a pair of trousers by MM LaFleur. And I'm going to throw on my loafers by YSL. I love me a lesbian high school principal look, okay? I love me an elevated, tailored, elevated simplicity, bust down look. And there are pieces that we all already have in our wardrobe already. All right, y'all, so let's start off with why laser hair removal. It was something I've been interested in for years, but I had gone back and forth with doing other types of hair removal, just not knowing if I wanted to do something that was more semi-permanent to permanent. Unfortunately, though, my hair type is very coarse, it's very kinky, and doing anything other than maybe Nair, which I know is horrific. I know it's just a relaxer. It is terrible. It is a very harsh chemical that is not good to be in our bloodstream. So I hear you before anyone even says anything. But doing anything outside of Nair would always cause me to be incredibly inflamed. Shaving, and Lord knows waxing. I went on probably about a 12-month off and on waxing journey because I kept being told, just give it a try. You know, the hair is going to change over time of removing it. Just giving it a try. And when I tell you, it was torture. And I was just like, why am I putting myself through this? Now, it was the first time I felt that level of smoothness. And so I definitely wanted to keep going back and find a way of having that. Now, it was the first time I had that level of hair removal along my bikini line. I was doing modified bikini and between the cheeks, and I was like, this is amazing. Absolutely loved it. But around the time when it came time to actually have the hair removed, it was torture. But I would only get probably about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And by the time that the hair started to want to grow again, the hair would always get trapped in my follicles. And so I had horrific inflammation from ingrown hairs, etc. And I just stopped trying to make it work. You know, my body didn't like it. It wasn't responding to it well. And so last year, when I started to think about preparing for the wedding, overall fitness and beauty routines and regimens, I decided to invest in laser hair removal. Started this process about 2 months ago. No, it's been longer than that, y'all, because I've gone twice, and my last treatment was in May. So I think I started it right around my birthday. I think I had just gone for my first treatment before I went to Miami in April. And the place I go to, they do packages, and I have a package of 8. I fell off between May and clearly the last treatment. You're supposed to go every 6 to 8 weeks. You can go every 4 to 6 if you're getting it somewhere else outside of your bikini or even the Brazilian area. First question, obviously, people are going to want to know is, does it hurt? And the answer is, it depends on where you're getting it, and clearly, of course, your pain tolerance. I've already talked about that in this vlog. My underarms, I barely feel anything at all. My bikini line, absolutely. Absolutely. My happy trail, I barely feel anything at all. Now, here's the thing. You have to be as close to cleanly shaven as possible to reduce the pain, because the darker the hair, the darker the skin. The laser is very spicy when it senses dark skin and dark hair. So be clean shaven for sure, and just know your sensitive areas. I've never tried numbing or anything like that. Some people may find that to be effective. I don't know if it's counter the treatment, so do not quote me, y'all. This is not advice. I am not an esthetician or a specialist. I'm just telling you my experience. All I know is yesterday, again, I felt barely anything under my arms, and along my happy trail, which is that area between your belly button and the top of your vagina. And most of the actual bikini line was fine. It was as she starts to come closer in that it gets super spicy. And so again, being as clean shaven as possible definitely helps with that. She just gave me a stress ball. I just breathed deeply and I was okay. I made it through. And it's quick. If you have someone who knows what they're doing well, and I'm so happy with the person that I go to, it should not take longer than 10 minutes max for all of those areas for me. So how has the hair regrowth process been? Clearly, you have to go more than once because the hair is going to regrow. The goal is to completely deaden those follicles. And once that happens, it of course inhibits hair regrowth. But everybody is different. Everyone needs a different number of treatments, some more, some less. Everyone needs a different strength of the laser, some more, some less. And everyone possibly has a longer period of regrowth in between, and even on your own body. So for me, the hair under my arms is pretty much done. That was true after the second treatment for sure. I think in that 2-month period, I shaved once, but even with that, I barely saw any hair. Same thing with my happy trail. I did shave before my treatment, but that's only because I had 1 or 2 hairs. And that has been an area of concern for me since I was a teenager. I probably should never have started shaving it, but you live and you learn. Because I'm so deep, my skin tone is so deep, I scar very easily from a razor. And so I am really happy because what's happened is that area along my happy trailer on my stomach has finally begun to lighten because I'm no longer shaving it consistently. And then for my bikini area, that hair is we're here and accounted for. I don't know why you want us to go. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, it is really been interesting to treat for me because I thought that after the second treatment, especially just given, you're going in, they're applying a laser, I'm not seeing hair grow as fast anywhere else. I'm okay, this is going well. I'm going to be good. Girl, no. Now, it took some time. It took about, like I said, 2 months. But in that 2-month period, it was almost full hair regrowth. And so I can tell I'm definitely going to need all 8 of my sessions in order to really see long-term results. So that brings me to long-term results. Again, it means something different for everybody. So that gets me to how long can you expect for it to last? And of course, it's very, very individual. For some people, depending on the number of treatments, especially if they go more with a higher frequency laser, it may just be permanent. It may be permanent. But for me, no ma'am. I'm turn that thing down a little bit. I'm not trying to burn my skin, scar my skin. It's not that serious. It is not that serious. I don't want any unwanted damage outside of the damage to the hair follicles that I'm trying to deaden essentially. And so I already know for me, I probably can expect 6 months to a few years. hopefully at least a full 12 months, because in that time period, what I want to happen is for all of these areas to be able to lighten a bit, because shaving again over time just scars my skin, and for most of us with melanin, it does tend to start to darken certain areas of our skin. So I want to be on the beach on my honeymoon with a thong on and not have a care in the world. And that is why I am making this investment for the short term, but also for the long term as well. A small period of pain for longer term gain is how I'm looking at it, if that makes sense. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would 100% recommend it. I already know this is probably going to be a part of my beauty regimen for as long as it needs to be. It just makes me feel sexier. I'm happy with the results. I think with the results that I've already seen, I know that over time the hair is going to start to regrow even slower. It's just been nice not to have to think about it, especially during the summer months. So that's my spiel. I hope you have enjoyed today's vlog where we dug deep into everything I am doing to prepare for this here wedding. All about my beauty and body routine. All about what I am getting done, the nips, the tucks, the tweaks, as well as my diet and my fitness. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Please know I am not a medical professional. I have given you advice simply from my firsthand experience, not at all to confer medical advice on you all. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give the video a big thumbs up. I will see you good people next time. Peace.